Hi everyone and welcome. I'm out here in my yard. I've got some food for my outdoor worm bin. I've got some stuff that had been in the freezer. This head of broccoli, pretty much gone bad. But all this other stuff was never frozen. It was just stuff that was intended to get stashed away as worm food. But I've just got no space in the fridge right now. I mean, I just fed the worms down in the wormery, so I might have been able to squeeze this in. But I figured it was a good time to come out here and give this bin a feeding. It's been a week and a half since I last checked in on this bin and gave them some food. Today I figured I'd give them some pulverized eggshell as well as grit to go with the food. So I'm just going to take these coverings off so we can get access. And let's see what we see. I've been feeding tomatoes on and off, so I think all these little sprouts we're seeing are probably little baby tomato plants, because the tomato seeds do tend to sprout pretty readily. I guess I should pull out stuff like this, right? Little labels. I don't really pay that much attention usually to pull this sort of stuff out, but if I see anything like that, I might as well. The material's got some nice dampness to it. The little piece of plastic that we had covering it, the one that I removed just a moment ago, seems to do just the perfect job keeping moisture nice and damp right beneath itself. You can tell right out on the edges it's actually very dry. That's probably got a lot to do with the fact that it's fabric and it breathes pretty easily. But luckily it's, for the most part, castings. Maybe not for the most part. It's probably still a pretty good mix of various bedding materials, but you know, a good amount of castings, which provides the good degree of insulation within this system. So I was just picking around down here. There's a variety of little peach pits and stuff over here. I just noticed some tougher, hard, slow composting items out here. I guess we can stir this up a little bit. I think there's rain expected tomorrow, so even if I don't stir it up, the stuff on the edges will get some dampness tomorrow from the rain. What's this? I think it was tomatoes that I added. This appears to be grape stems. Maybe I added grapes. Oh yeah, there's a piece of string in here too. This is like clothesline. I don't even know if this is organic or whatever. Might not even compost down. It might not even be an organic material. It might be polyester or something. If I don't see any signs of, you know, deterioration on that after a while, I'll just get rid of it. All right, so now we've got what I believe to be like the stem of some grapes. That's what it looks like. It's like a little stick, basically. It should soften up and go after a while. It's these large sticks like this that I wonder about whether they're going to go anywhere. And I guess here, this must be signs of the food itself. These must be the skins of the tomatoes, I think, that they received last time. I think it was tomatoes. I didn't really look back on the last feeding, and I don't really recall what it was. I believe in that case, too, I might have just been running a little bit rich on supplies and just figured I'd come out here and give these worms a little feeding as long as I had surplus food. Actually, now that I'm getting down pretty deep, I believe I'm finally getting down to a couple tomatoes, quite clearly tomatoes, and this one's not even hardly been touched. Oh my goodness. Well, that's okay. They're gonna get more. Just because I find food in a bin usually doesn't mean that I'm going to stop or change my plans of feeding the worms. This is the stuff that they're going to be able to just continue eating right away, all the stuff that's been in the bin for a while. And then the new stuff that they're getting here today are going to be the types of things that they can probably start eating a little later after the decomposition process is started up. Try to keep these tomatoes clear of the big hole that we created, although I don't know how big the hole needs to be. I feel like I always have to dig so deep to get down to where the food is. Maybe on this go around what we'll do is we'll return some of these older chunks of food down to the bottom. I thought there was a third tomato somewhere here. No? Here it is. Alright, so we'll move those 3 tomatoes back down in the hole. And then we'll put the fresh stuff right on top of that. It's a little bit muddy, quite damp. So with today's feeding, they're even getting a little supplement piece of bedding here, this paper towel. And as long as I've got a paper towel here, I might as well take advantage of it and clean off this glove a bit. I'd rather have this material down in the bin rather than out of it. I guess I'll see if I can, well, you know what, let's leave it whole. Might be more interesting to bump into that at a later time. See how it's coming along if it remains whole. But I don't know, I think this is the sort of thing that's probably going to go pretty quick in the worm bin. And before we close up, I'm also going to sprinkle in the pulverized eggshell. Usually I don't pay too much attention to putting grit into any outdoor worm bins, but I've got a lot of pulverized eggshell on supply right now too, so I'm being generous with it over here too. So let's start closing up this container. Here's another food-like item, so let's get that down in there too. The stem of grapes. Here's a cocoon. Not sure if it's visible on the camera. So that's fun. Always fun checking out this bin. I've also got my outdoor compost barrel, which a lot of people always express interest in, and I still have yet to go in there to examine what's happening in that bin. For some reason, I'm just kind of worried to look in there and find a complete absence of life. I'm just thinking that it was pretty cold over the winter, and I'd hate to think that the worms froze in there. I guess even if they did, then their cocoons should have survived the winter and start repopulating pretty soon. But a lot of people will tell you that, hey, the worms are pretty tough. Give them some more credit than you do. And they're probably in there doing just fine. So one of these days I'll have to check on that system too. But for now, it was only my objective to get out here and get rid of those excess kitchen scraps. So mission accomplished. All right, everyone. Well, that's it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, as always, please remember to leave me a thumbs up. That's always really appreciated. Also, consider subscribing to the channel too if you haven't done so already. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.